Hi, I'm Linda. I'm 13 years old. I have autism and severe dyslexia, and my mentors are Chloe and Matt Arnold, and you shall see a picture of them. And also, I love urban, and I love Hollywood, and I love my puppies. And also, this is all about being my autistic self, and also I stumbled there, blah, blah, blah.
Hi, thanks for joining us on another episode of Lita's Tapped Out. Lita's with me today. She swears she's going to try and actually speak when we have guests on. We have with us April. I am going to butcher your last name. Ratchford, is that it?
It is correct.
Oh, wonderful. She is the host of Adulting with Autism. I have tried to introduce our guest, and I have realized that I just read off a piece of paper. So do you mind introducing yourself to our listeners?
Sure. I am an occupational therapist. I have autism, and I also have a son who's 22 that has autism. And I decided to start a podcast, Adulting with Autism, when there was no transitioning after he graduated high school. He tried two colleges and bombed them both. And I got super frustrated because he ended up with a huge college bill, no supports. He felt awful. And I got so mad because he felt so bad about himself that I started Adulting with Autism so other parents and other adults his age won't feel the need to torture themselves when they graduate high school. So they would have some kind of leeway of what do I do once high school is over?
A wonderful thing. I know we talked previously, and I'm autistic, Lita's autistic. As someone who's come up as an adult, the support systems kind of disappear when you turn 18.
Yep, they just kind of wither away.
Autism doesn't disappear when you turn 18.
It does not.
It is weird. Lita, did you want to ask our guests some questions? Yeah, you need to turn on your microphone though, kiddo. Can you ask them? We had this planned out. She's still trying to figure out this whole interviewing process.
That's the fun part.
It is. Remember, it was about adults having activities after they turn 18?
So apparently I'm supposed to ask why it's important for adults to have activities after they turn 18. Don't get it, because I'm pretty sure it's just so we don't feel through their children. We fail children.
Did you catch that, April, or do I need to kind of say what she said?
You kind of repeat. It was kind of quiet.
She's really quiet and she goes really fast. Why do adults need activities after they turn 18 to make them in community after they turn 18?
Well, it's just like anyone. When you're 18 and older, it's harder to find a group of friends. When you're in high school and when you're in your school years, it's easy to find that group of friends because you have activities, you have sports, or you have arts, and you have um, groups that you can join with your activities. Once you turn 18, it kind of just dwindles because you have some of your friends that go on to college. You have other friends that decide, hey, I'm going to go join the military. You have other friends that are like, peace out. I'm going to do Peace Corps or whatever they're going to do. And here you are. You're like, I don't know what I want to do. How am I going to make new friends? And then they're left to their own devices. Here we are on the internet, which is cool to have friends on the internet. Not saying the internet's not cool to have friends, but human beings were made to interact and we're social creatures. And it's good to have that interaction of the back and forth. That's that's just how we're wired. And once you turn 18, that's harder and harder to do if you're not.
I think we may have lost you there, April. I think we may have lost Miss April. We're gonna see if it unfreezes, but it's for yeah, we seem
Yeah,
to
we
have lost
waffle.
her.
He went bye-bye. He bye-bye. He bye-bye. He poo.
We're going to stay on and see if we can't figure out if it's on our end or on her end real quick. I'm like, I think we lost you. I have had
No,
that problem. I've actually had that problem while recording that my laptop decides to crash.
I don't know why it does it. It does it like at the end of the day. It just says, we're peacing out, done.
I it does it to me like during the middle of the day and I'll be in the middle of editing something and it's like your GPU just crashed. Thanks.
Yeah, it's always at the end of the day for whatever reason. It's like, peace out, we're done. And I was like, you're done? Okay, all right.
Uh, no problems. I understand completely, April. Uh, let's go back and redo that question real quick because I don't know where we lost you in all this, if that makes any sense at all.
Right. So for young adults that graduate, it's harder to make friends after 18 because they have friends that go off. So they split off and go, some go to college, some decide to peace out, go to the military, some decide they're going to go find themselves and backpack. And then you're left by yourself with your own devices and you're stuck on the internet because you don't know what to do. You know, you're not sure if college is your thing. It's hard to find transitional programs for young adults with autism because they're so far and few between. And if you find them, they're expensive and you don't know how to access them. And so COVID has shown that when we were stuck in our homes, you get depressed and hard to find that social interaction, and everybody needs social interaction. And you don't have those cool groups you did in school. Like, how many 18-year-olds do you know that start their own groups like, hey, let's start an art group? It's easier in high school than it is afterwards.
Well, I know that's one of the reasons with the dance studio Lita's starting, we're going from 3 to 99 because, you still have a lot of kids who love dancing. And I know they're not kids in their opinion, but I'm in my 40s. If you're in your 20s, you're a kid.
Correct.
um, you will understand someday, child.
You're on.
She's like, you're weird. Yeah, you'll understand someday. But even you see these, she's like, you can say it into your microphone. You don't have to scream it across. Uh, we,
She's so funny.
oh, she is. Um, I know my husband and I tried fitting in at a local dance studio that has adult dance classes, and what, Lita?
All I can say is I don't like that because I'm trying to touch my father and my father doesn't need another child.
Uh, some of the women thought my husband was great, and it's like, I know, I married him. And they were like, but you know how that goes. It's like, yes, I know, I got a good one. Thank you very much. Stay away. But It was a large dance class, even for an adult dance class. It was supposed to be a beginner's welcome class. There were like 20 adults, and my husband is like, "Can you stop and keep repeating this?" And the adults are like, "Why?" And he's like, "'Cause that's, how autistic people learn. Just slow it down and let me repeat it till I get it and can go on."
Right.
And it he was doing it for his daughter, so he continued until he deployed, and he's like, "Great, I have an excuse to stop this class." But, it wasn't somewhere he felt like he could learn, and it because he had never done tap before, and it was somewhere that even I was like, "You're very neurotypical here, and I get that you wanna be welcoming, but I need smaller, more" I don't know how to put it, autistic classes. Does that make any sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. You need something that is personable to you, that's on your learning style. And neurotypical classes don't offer that. They offer to the greater group versus the small niche.
And I'm not really sure how small niche autism is anymore, but
There is no, the CDC, 1 in 36.
and we're a military town, and the military's 3 out of 5. I know, I'm like, it's a little I'm not sure I believe that 1 in 36, no, in the military numbers. It's like, I think you guys are underdiagnosing.
That's probably, yeah. And I
Uh,
can see that's a bigger number.
yeah, I mean, I worked within the military community for over 20 years, and it's like, this is a huge number, and if you're in a military town, you need to realize 3 out of every 5 kids you've got coming in have been diagnosed, and that includes, like, little babies who haven't been diagnosed yet, so you can just say that into the mic.
What? The military does pick up all the autistic people. I mean, all the autistic people just go to the military before they even bring a diagnosis. And even if they are diagnosed, they just whip it to the military. Can't we just all agree they're just all autistic? And if they're not, they're weird.
I think there are probably a lot of the adults in the military who are also autistic. I mean, they give you a rigid structure, which is kinda helpful.
And that they thrive in that.
Oh, yeah. Going back to the in-person stuff, a lot of the things I've noticed that Lita had problems with in studios, they don't go right once you turn 18, like looking people in the eye and everything. Has this been a problem with your son, like all of his quirks and trying to find a group that accepts him for his quirks?
Yeah, even in the workplace, it's tough because even though the company he works for, the corporation is very inclusive, but trying to get that all the way down the pipes into all the stores is a dumpster fire. So
Yeah.
we live in a smaller area, but the city um, that does better with it in Louisville, that is very inclusive, it doesn't translate so well. And I'm like, yeah. And because I live in near Lexington, Kentucky, it's just nothing here for younger autistic adults. There's nothing here. There's no after program. There's barely a club here for them. So most of the Kentucky families that have wanted their young adults to transition are going to programs in Bloomington, Indiana that has a transitional program because there's nothing in Kentucky. And
And it shouldn't
which
be
is sad.
based off where you're living.
Now, there should be something in every state that is local near either a city or a town that you don't have to ship your kids so far away. It,
Definitely. And it shouldn't be I mean, my 13-year-old starting a dance studio for autistic kids, it shouldn't be on the 13-year-olds to start anything.
No, it shouldn't. It should have been an adult saying, "Hey, we need this because all children should be included." But
Well,
of
and our
course, it took your daughter to be like, "Common sense, people. I would like to do this, please."
there are autism dance classes here in town, but they're mixed in. She's calling them evil. Th- they're they're mixed in with the other disabilities. They're all with the other differently abled. So you're putting in the Down syndrome and the autistic kids, the Parkinson's and the autistic kids, the wheelchairs and the autistic kids, and they all learn completely differently. They're not what you need for an autistic kid is not what you need.
It's it's almost like they're just hurting them. Okay, here's the disabled dance classes versus
Right. And then
specialized.
she doesn't qualify for them because she's too good. So she has to go into the neurotypical classes because her dance level is too good. Yeah. And then the neurotypical teachers, you can I'm you can say it into your mic what you think.
It is just for the
Say your
money.
truth.
I'm they cl- I how am I putting this nicely? I don't think it's just for the money. I think these dance studios really do have a heart, but they don't know anyone who is autistic. And they're like, oh, this is somewhere I could be helpful. I could save these kids. And they don't really need saving.
Correct.
They also all say they're woke, and woke is just a new term for every is there is to be.
Okay. She is
Oh, you
definitely Gen
are
Alpha.
smart as a whip. Oh,
She's Gen Alpha, and she has been brought up by Chloe and Maud Arnold too. And so Gen Alpha and then being raised with some very strong African American women in her life. You get this.
listen, she's not wrong. Sometimes people get used that woke term and then they use it all wrong, and you're like, "This is not what we mean."
This is not no, and she is very especially when it's a certain group of liberals. She's like, yeah, we weren't asking you to come to the table.
Speak your truth, girl. We don't need your opinion. That's what you should say. We don't need your opinion. I didn't ask for it.
I didn't ask you to tell me what my disability is.
Correct.
Um, but I think it is what she was saying. These people have a heart and they're like, oh, I pity these kids.
They didn't ask for that either. They just wanted a dance class. That's all they nice people. We just needed a dance class.
Yeah. And with her, she's had teachers tell her because she'll go in, I'll sit down, and I'm sure you had this with your son where you go, this is exactly who she is. And then they say, I heard you. And then they didn't listen.
Yeah.
And then they're complaining and telling her, "Oh, you're not looking me in the eye. Oh, you aren't listening." I'm like, "She has an auto processory issue. You may need to repeat it to her 30 times."
Correct. People just don't listen.
They don't. And then she's had teachers, which is where she's like, "Fine, then I'll start my own studio." They're like, "It's your job as a child to teach me about autism. You can pick up your mic and talk."
I'm not doing free labor. I'm paying you. You're doing labor, and it's not for free. So I do free labor. Just either you pay me or I do free child labor. Which is child me.
She may have some
She's not
opinions.
wrong. She's not totally wrong.
I'm also kind of like, Google exists. You could Google some of this stuff.
They're technically there. I just got off an interview today where there's a person that can teach a whole business on the subject of it.
Yeah.
So
Um,
there's resources out there. You just actually have to look for the resources and actually find those resources, but you actually have to care enough to look for the resources.
and be open enough to the idea that you may not know everything and you might need to learn something new.
Correct.
I know with our studio, like I said, we're adding the adult courses and we're doing I need to find a better name for it. And I've asked everyone, we're doing a dance studio version of the IEP. And we have taken everything that actually works with the school IEPs that we can bring in. And I did forget, she's yelling at me. I forgot allergies and sensory issues. And she's like, you forgot to put this in here. You need to put this in here. Because especially with dance, you have texture issues and these kids are put into
Right.
textures they don't like. They're having many meltdowns in recitals.
Oh, I can only imagine because, itchy, the smells. I can only
Uh,
imagine.
Velvet is a very popular one for dance teachers, and it's like, let's circle back on why velvet is bad for a lot of autistic kids.
I I'm not a fan of velvet. Ugh. I don't like
Numbers
suede.
no. Yeah, no, all those, and they're like, "But you just have to deal with it." I'm like, "Or we could just give some
Do something
accommodation."
else.
Oh yeah, you forgot that velvet can also be an allergy because apparently people get confused on how velvet can also be a freaking allergy, people.
She has some opinion on allergies and texture issues being taken seriously.
It is a synthetic, so she's not wrong.
Yeah, um, but even with our adult dancers, we're having them do this because while our class sizes are small, our, classes are never gonna be more than 5 dancers in a class. We kinda need to know about you in order to teach you.
This is true.
We were discussing because, and I don't know if but, like, with adults, they kinda just expect you to come in and you just even with the few adult programs I've ever seen as an adult, they're not asking you, like, "How do you best learn? Where are you at in all this? What are your sensory issues?"
And that's the problem. Like nobody's having the conversation and nobody's really taking the time to specialize a program because nobody's really done it for autistic people. I've seen it for Down syndrome. I've seen wonderful programs for Down syndrome specialized. I've seen it for people who are blind. I've seen it for deaf. But I think with autism, you have to be so specialized because of the sensory, because of allergies, because not all people who are autistic learn the same. That's why it's called a spectrum. So you have to kind of get some similarities, keep everything small because you can't have the noise. You can't too much noise, maybe overstimulating. So
We She has a noise sensory issue, but she's a tap dancer. Do not try to make it make sense.
some noises sound good to some people, and some
Oh, yeah.
noises may it. And people just want to just people don't think about these things because autism is just such a nuance that they don't sit and really think about these nuances.
And I think that's where we have found issues, both of us in our lives, but her especially in dance, because like I said, she is a tap dancer, but if people clap for her on stage, she's gonna have a meltdown. Just FYI, everyone. And she's really good. So people are coming to their feet. And she's like, I'm just running off stage now. Thank you very much. But
Right.
all of her teachers are like, "But you can't be that way because you do tap." And she's like,
Yes.
Would you
Yes, I
like to
can.
jump in?"
Hello, yes, I did not ask for your opinion. And also, when you have to deal with your problems, and when I don't have to hear about your whole entire life story, even though I just came here for this class, then come back to me.
Dance teachers tend to tell their students a lot about their life problems.
I hear about that. Like I think I watched a television show talking about like things like dance moms, and that's like a thing. And I'm like, oh,
It, it is. We're not doing that unless it's, yes. She's like, I didn't ask to be your therapist. Our most of our teachers we're bringing in are from within the community and happen to be dance teachers. Like we're looking for actual teachers on the spectrum right now too, but we've got some therapists who have agreed to come in. So their day job is therapist. Their night job is teaching dance. And they're like, oh, I could easily help you guys.
and that's totally easy to do. You can have like teachers volunteer to teach therapists how to dance. That's how ballroom teachers learn to teach other students.
Yeah, I think our therapist teachers are the ones who are going to try and teach the dance teachers because they're amazing dance teachers on their side. They've taught and coached neurotypical, and they're like, ooh, I get to take everything I know from the dance world and bring it into the autism world where I am from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day.
It can be an amazing partnership if they just learn a little bit from
Well,
the therapist.
oh, it's the actual therapists who happen to be dance teachers.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, like, we're finding therapists who their day job is, like, their occupational or their speech or their physical, and their evening job is teaching dance classes. And they're like, "We would
That's
love."
awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, "I'll take that combo because 'cause they're like, "Oh, so I get to do what I love on my side job, which is teach dance, but do it in the community I'm already part of."
Oh, that is rare.
Yeah,
Oh, that is
I'm just so excited that we're bringing in actual therapists who just also happen to have 20 years plus dance teacher experience.
oh my gosh, that is so awesome.
And some of them are therapists for adults. So we're getting it's like,
That
I'll
is
take that.
awesome.
Oh yeah. There's a reason we're nonprofit though, is because I cannot afford to pay everyone what they're worth if I don't have a lot of donation.
Um, actually, I just talked to somebody that has a website that might point you in a direction for more help for federal funds. So I
That would
will
be
email
wonderful, April.
you
Thanks.
that link.
This is one of the reasons podcasting is helpful is we can all get together from across the nation and across the world to talk.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
but the in-person is still just so important.
It is. That's why I created this because like it's so important to have something after they graduate that they love to do and you guys are doing it.
Hopefully we're starting our this episode will come out during our giving season. She's dropping a music video on Instagram today that we're hoping will go viral and get a lot of eyes on this so that we can open our full studio by January with donations.
Oh, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't
And
wait.
We've got a great partner right now that's letting us have their studio as often as possible. But, being in someone else's studio, we are limited to times we can
Which
be in there.
is so amazing. That is so amazing.
Um, I did, yeah, I did want to ask you because we do have a lot of neurotypical parents, and um, no, we cannot just tape their mouths shut.
No, 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 no.
The-
You got to
j-
educate them.
we have to educate them. One of the things we have constantly heard, and I know you focus mostly on adulting, but you had a son that was a child once. We have constantly heard, my child can't come to your dance studio because they're autistic and they're going to disrupt class.
Okay. So this is the thing. Like neurotypical parents, I think, still have this thing about embarrassment. And I think it's due to the people they're surrounded with. And the way you break that is to just tell them, hey, it's okay. You're not by yourself. There is a community for you. Because because what tends to happen is neurotypical parents tend to end up around other neurotypical parents, and their kid is the odd kid out. And so they still feel this sense of, oh, I'm sorry, my kid's going to have this meltdown, where they should feel okay. And it's kind of our job to kind of tell them, hey, you don't have to apologize for anything. Your kid is fine. Your kid just has to learn his sensory system, and you have to help him learn that sensory system. Don't be embarrassed for it. He's just learning his sensory system and his language, and just make them feel okay.
Better put than me because I'm like, look, they're not going to bother me if they can't, especially the young 3 to 6-year-old group. If they're not paying attention, they're not bothering.
Yeah, like
Yeah. She's like, they're 3 or 6, they're already doing it. You do have a mic you can talk into. She's
but
giving me
that's the problem. They're already surrounded by other neurotypical parents that have neurotypical kids, and they already feel awkward. And they think because their kid is receiving OT that OT is magically going to make their kid typical. And I'm like, that's not how any of this works.
OT did some magic for us, but it wasn't neurotypical. She's got severe dyslexia and an eye tracking issue, and OT was amazing at trying to help the eye tracking, but that's not going to turn her neurotypical.
We do some amazing things, but we are not so magical that we're going to turn autism into normal. This is not how this works. We make it to where they feel comfortable with themselves and can function and do what they want to do. That's what we do. But neurotypical parents aren't there yet because they're surrounded by other neurotypical parents.
I think I was the odd one coming into her therapist because they're like, we can't turn her neurotypical. And I'm like, I don't want a neurotypical child. What are you talking about?
Right. Like that, and that's rare because most neurotypical parents don't understand because they're surrounded by other neurotypicals unless they're
Yeah.
already therapists and they're just like, hey, can you just show me how to not him not melt down and me just fix can we show him his sensory system? But
I was asking for the can we kind of figure out because she was not receptive to speech at all. Not only could she not express it, she didn't understand it. You can guess how many meltdowns we had until the speech showed up.
I can only imagine.
And it was over silly things like you have to go to the bathroom. I promise you, if you just go to the bathroom, we can go do XYZ. She she was classified because as a girl, sometimes there are different classifications than boys. Would you like to complain?
I'm sorry, I'm not aggressive to boy throwing a little hammer at the person because she didn't get it what she wanted. It's more aggressive because it comes on me. It's throwing a hammer.
Yeah,
10 years
yeah, I will say, yeah.
10 years ago when we were in Florida, she got diagnosed as aggressive because girls having meltdowns in that school system were considered aggressive.
Oh, good. Oh,
And she was in a Montessori school where the teachers did not agree with that diagnosis.
I wouldn't either because typically that's usually the first sign of, hey, we should probably test this one for a little bit of
This was after she'd
autism.
been Yeah, this was after she'd been diagnosed with autism by a neurologist. The school system had to come in and do their own diagnosis, and they were like, "Well, she may have some that may have some autistic traits." And I'm like, "You, neurologist, which one am I going to listen to on the diagnosis?"
Oh my lord.
And they were like, "She's very aggressive because she has meltdowns." And I'm like, "Do the boys get diagnosed as aggressive when they have meltdowns?" "Oh no, they have to like be physically aggressive." She's still on the boy threw a hammer, and I'm like, "And that didn't count as diagnosis or that didn't count as aggressive because boys just are boys."
That sounds a little misogynistic to me, but what do I know?
I mean, it was Florida. You know how Florida can be. I will
I don't know. I'm just gonna uh, I'm
some and we were in a county that was much more set up for the snowbirds than it was for the children with autism.
ooh, um, for shame, Florida.
And
Just saying, Florida. Just saying.
and it was 10 years ago. Things have gotten better, thankfully, but
The
they're
the yeah,
and autism, we're still I mean, you know this, it's still very misunderstood,
very.
and it's waiting for its civil rights movement.
Oh man.
It's
Still,
coming.
it's gonna have to because if all these kids are getting diagnosed, you're gonna have a big fat world full of autistic people, and you can't sit here and not accommodate them all.
No, and a lot of these accommodations in work are extremely easy. And dance, I know one of the major accommodations is loops, the little circular things you put in your ears to help with sound sensories. Lita's like, they look funny. And some of the professional companies still won't allow them because they're like, oh, they look like earbuds that you've got attached to your iPods or your iPads. And it's like, no, this is to help with my sound sensory issues.
Right. Like, it's not a big deal. It
And
I feel like if they're paying attention and they can do the steps.
yeah, I mean, and that's the whole reason we've got the studio is some of these kids are just dancing for fun, and you should be allowed to dance and express yourself just because you enjoy dancing. Um, some of these kids, like Lita, would like to go professional. They should be able to have a pre-professional program that's tailored to them and how they learn.
Correct. Exactly. Like,
And
that's how most dance programs are. Hey, you dance for fun, or hey, this is what you want to do for a profession. Okay, this is how we tailor it.
yeah, and I know we're tailoring a lot more because we're like limiting how much vocabulary we introduce in a single class. Some of these studios are introducing 15, 20 deals of vocabulary in a single class. I'm
Oh,
not sure
Lord.
that's yeah, we're like 1 or 2 vocabulary things in one class is good. You do have a microphone, Wad.
What? The neurotypical kids that get confused. We all got confused. Everyone got confused. They weren't even speaking English.
There's a big thing in the dance world to introduce, like, every piece of vocabulary you're gonna learn that semester in one class and then expect the kids to know it the whole semester.
Listen, I think good to just learn. No, no. I'm like 15, 20 words. Oh my God.
I She's like and it's in ballet usually, and she's like, "I'm not learning French for you."
Like, oh my
Yeah.
God. Mm.
And you see the same thing in adult classes where they're dumping all this on you at once, and it's like, "Or we could take our time to learn the words and the steps."
That's normal because the human brain works on repeat. So, and chunking. And chunking is four.
Yeah.
We only learn four at a time.
They don't learn as quickly as neurotypical studios would like you to learn. She's over there yelling about not learning French that quickly.
I didn't learn French that quickly. And I'm like, oh, that's a lot of repetition and a lot of.
It is, and one of the best, like, where all the kids my age learned tap was Al Gilbert, and he did repetition after repetition after repetition. We've taken that out of dance studios. Our studio's putting it right back in.
Yeah, that's how that even for um learning, that is how the human mind works. Your nervous system learns by repetition. That's you can't get around it.
Everyone I've talked to of my friends who are dance studio owners are like, "But the parents want them to learn so quickly. They want them doing pirouettes and leaps by the end of the first year." And I'm like, "Or you should have the basics down."
Pretty much.
Yes. Um, and if you have the basics down, maybe you'll have fewer injuries.
This is very true because typically autistic kids have not the greatest balance in the world. So that proprioception is very important.
Oh, yeah. And core strength is very important for these dancers. And core strength
Correct.
is, yeah. She has spent many, many a day in physical therapy working on her core strength.
And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. I'm like, listen, you're talking about autistic kids here. I'm like, these are not neurotypical kids. These kids need lots of repetition, lots of strengthening, and it's not going to be quick because most of them probably didn't do a lot of running, jumping, and gym class because some of them have gravitational insecurities. They're not jungle gymming. A lot of them love gaming. So this is going to be a nice, even progression. So,
And an even progression never killed anyone.
correct.
Even with our adults, we're not expecting you to know everything the moment you enter the studio.
Yeah, it's just building blocks.
Oh, yeah. And even as adults, core strength issues can be a problem for even level 1 and level 2 ASD adults.
Very true. Because let me tell you, I have lots of them.
Right there with you. Um, and I know one of the things we've been told we're weird about is we aren't focusing our adult program on level 3 ASD. We're focusing it on all levels of autism. It's a spectrum even in adulthood.
Right. I'm like, it doesn't go away. There's still a spectrum after 18 where we don't all combine into this one. And I think that's where the disconnect is. Assume that once you turn 18, that it's just this magical thing. And I'm like, no, it's still a spectrum. I
Especially the higher it's not high functioning anymore. Boy, I'm going to sound old calling it high functioning, aren't I? Um, level 1, level 2, where you don't have to have as much of a support system, you still need a support system.
Right. Like I call it high functioning because I'm old and now it's now level 1, level 2. And I'm like, oh my God, this is another thing I got to learn.
I,
However,
I still have to learn. I was diagnosed way back when it was Asperger's for the highest of us.
right. I was like, my son is like, what's Asperger's? I was like, well, that's when they thought all of the high functioning people were all the same, like Sheldon Cooper. And then they were all wrong.
It doesn't go away at 18, especially like money issues.
And it just gets more complex because the older you grow and the more experiences you have, it shapes your autism. And that's what people don't realize. I'm like, this doesn't go away. It's your personality, it's who you are, and your experiences always shape who you are. So it always changes.
Oh, yeah. I could go on talking to you for hours, April. We're going to have to try and get you back on again. Because you're amazing to talk to. Thanks for
Ah,
coming.
you are so
I,
welcome.
I promise you we tried to keep this between 30 and an hour, and we're pushing 50 minutes already, April.
Huh.
Where can people find you on the web?
You can find me under my name, April Michelle Ratchford, on Facebook because I'm old, because I like the Facebook. Um, I will answer any question that I can. I do have an Instagram, so it's under April Ratchford. I actually have a YouTube channel under Adulting with Autism podcast, so you can see some of my podcasts on video. Um, you can always listen to my podcast, Adulting with Autism. It's on all the major platforms. Um, so I do have a website, adultingwithautism.com. There's blogs. You can buy a t-shirt if you like. They're
We're
pretty
gonna
cool.
Yeah. We will list all that in the description below. You are chewing on your microphone. It is not a podcast if she's not chewing on her microphone.
I mean,
Um, we also on lidatapstyles.com have short bios of all of our guests. So you're going to be on there, and how to contact you will also be on that. Uh, thank you again so much for coming on, April.
thank you for having me. It's been great. And Lita, you are a trailblazer.
Can you say thank you?
Memo.
That was thank you. And like I said, we'd love to have you on again sometime.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening. Tune in Tuesday for the tap specific stuff here at Lita's Tap Styles, and we'll talk to everyone later.
Okay, well, thank you for watching the podcast, and please subscribe, and also look at the adorable paper. So if you want to subscribe for it, and also please leave a like, and don't forget, if you subscribe to us, if you won't miss any of our new podcast feeds. And also, did you see the adorable paper? Don't you like it?